If you think the dark web is a Hollywood conspiracy theory, you're missing the reality of how the internet actually works. You just have to drop straight down into the digital grid to find it. This diagram shows the architecture of the internet as an iceberg. The top 4% is the surface web, everything Google or Facebook can reach. Underneath the water is the deep web, making up 96% of the internet, where secure data like bank records and private emails live. And if you keep scrolling past all of that, down to the absolute bottom of that structure, you hit a lightless void, a place completely disconnected from standard laws. That is the dark web. To understand why this place is so hard to reach, look at how we navigate the normal web. Every time you open a browser, your computer broadcasts an IP address. It acts as a digital fingerprint, telling the network exactly who you are and where you're located. Even if you could hide that fingerprint, you still run into the money problem. Traditional bank transfers and credit card payments leave a paper trail that law enforcement can follow back to your front door. To build a functional black market, someone had to solve both problems at once. They needed a way to erase human identity from the network and process payments completely outside traditional finance. Building a digital black market was a challenge of pure digital architecture. To exist, this market would need to survive the internet's innate tracking systems. Ross Ulbricht, a 26-year-old student from Texas, realized he didn't need to invent new technology. The tools for anonymity already existed in plain sight. The first tool was the Tor browser. The underlying technology was developed by the United States Navy to transmit secure espionage communications around the world. This map shows how Tor's onion routing functions. When you send a signal, it doesn't go straight to its destination. It bounces through thousands of global volunteer computers, from Brazil to Germany to Russia, erasing the digital trail at every stop. The second tool was Bitcoin. Emerging in 2009, it offered decentralized digital cash that bypassed banks, allowing value to move directly between users without any oversight. Ulbricht brought these technologies together. By combining Tor's routing with Bitcoin's payments, he launched a platform he called the Silk Road. He built an empire without touching a single physical product. His true talent lay in systems integration, aligning separate pieces of code to achieve digital anonymity. With the digital tracking solved, Ulbricht had to solve the human problem, trust among anonymous criminals. He borrowed the standard e-commerce model, implementing seller ratings and an escrow system that held a buyer's Bitcoin until the package was delivered. Then came the physical logistics. To get illicit goods past law enforcement, Ulbricht published instructions for his sellers, mandating the use of vacuum sealing technology to mask the scent of drugs from police dogs. Once sealed, the packages were dropped into standard postal services. Letter carriers unknowingly became the distribution network for narcotics, delivering thousands of packages daily across international borders. The Silk Road demonstrated that a refined logistical framework could handle the volume and reach of a global trade network without a single face-to-face meeting. As trade volume swelled past $1.2 billion, Ulbricht adopted the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts. When a user threatened to expose customer data, the peaceful libertarian crossed a fatal line and paid a hitman to eliminate the blackmailer. The hitman he hired turned out to be an undercover FBI agent. The agent staged a crime scene using fake blood, took photos, and sent them to Ulbricht as proof of the murder. Despite handing the FBI evidence of a murder conspiracy, Ulbricht's digital identity remained hidden. The breach finally came when an IRS investigator dug through old coding forums and found an early post about the Silk Road where Ulbricht had included his personal Gmail address. That slip led agents to the San Francisco Public Library. The FBI knew they had to catch him actively logged into the Silk Road to bypass his encryption. Two undercover agents positioned behind him staged a loud lovers' quarrel. The moment Ulbricht turned around to see the commotion, a third agent slid his open, unencrypted laptop right out from under his hands. Even the most secure digital encryption can still be bypassed through human error. The human will always be the system's unpatchable vulnerability. In a federal courthouse, a judge handed down a sentence of 2 concurrent life terms, plus 40 years, without the possibility of parole. The federal agents who helped bring down the Silk Road were caught stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin and sent to prison. Years later, Donald Trump granted Ulbricht a full pardon. That release followed lobbying from cryptocurrency advocates and tech figures like Elon Musk, who viewed Ulbricht as a victim of excessive sentencing. The government successfully shut down the Silk Road, but they couldn't erase the math. The blueprint survived, and today, trade on the dark web operates at a scale 10 times larger than Ulbricht's original site. Ross Ulbricht demonstrated the technical viability of deep web commerce, leaving behind a digital architecture that continues to scale long after its creator was caught.